Today, we're giving away a $10,000 stained glass window to those who need it most. Imagine a community where every day is an opportunity for growth, learning, and success. A program offering a unique environment where individuals with intellectual and developmental challenges thrive, guided by tailored training and unwavering support. Well, you don't have to, because I found Hope Village, a nonprofit organization in Brentwood, Texas, that has made this dream a reality. The residents do crafts, develop their social skills, physical activities, and much, much more. My first contact with Hope Village was when they reached out for a quote on their stained glass window. They were remodeling a chapel in their facility for the residents to have a place for worship. Just your casual chapel makeover. But unfortunately, the organization had no room in the budget for this stained glass, and it almost ended right there. But with a disabled brother, I felt so moved by the mission at Hope Village, I couldn't let this project die there. So we decided to provide this stained glass window for free. Everyone, if you don't know me, my name is Adrian Cavallini, and I'm a part of a stained glass studio that works on hundreds of stained glass windows every single year. And we are extremely excited to make one for Hope Village. So sit back and relax while we take you through this journey. So now that we have decided to proceed with this project, we have to figure out what design would fit well for a faith-based organization that is an essential symbol of hope. And we finally arrived at the subject of a dove. No, not the soap brand, not that type of dove. That would be kind of funny though. No. We wanted a vibrant color scheme to represent the vibrant community Hope Village is. So we found a picture that we thought had some nice elements that fit the bill nicely. But now we must realize this image into a stained glass. One of the main things we wanted to change was to add more of a range of color in the rays, and especially some amber tones. The overall inspiration image seemed to lack the bright vibrancy we wanted, so that's something we really focused on. Creating the design is really a fluid state. It takes a lot of work, and thankfully the designer has over 40 years of design experience, and it really shows here as he's taking us through from start to finish on this design. This particular design was created using color pencil. It's a very common method for creating designs. Often we'll use watercolors. Now that the design was complete, I had to send it over, and hopefully they will like it. It took a few grueling days of agony, but then I got an email. It said, "I apologize for just getting back to you, but it took a little while to get everyone's feedback. The consensus is that this is exactly what we were looking for. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. So what happens now?" And this is a successfully wrapped up design phase. Sometimes you never know. It could be either way. They may hate it, they may love it, they may want to change a few things here and there, but thankfully, we nailed it on the first try. However, now it's time to actualize this, and we are definitely not out of the weeds yet on this project. We have to pick the perfect colors for each glass with the idea of making this a vibrant, colorful source of hope for the villagers. So we got to work checking through the hundreds of glass types, picking closely matching colors to our design. Okay, so this right here is the design. We've got tons of bright colors all around that central dove. So that's really what I was talking about earlier. And you can see we have a slight gradation right here. That's going to be painted on along with the fine details of the dove itself. Some things we can pick apart right here. You see these two are going to be the same color, but they're going to be different texture. And we're keeping all of the border around the perimeter to be nice and kind of neutral, because we're trying to accentuate that central medallion, really capture the essence of Hope Village with this. And these are a really nice multicolored glass. I think we've already got that one picked out. And here is that one on that really nice multicolored glass. Okay, so right here you see we've got a bunch of these bright colors around the central dove. So we picked out a bunch, an amber, a blue, nice red violet, a green, and more of a purple on this side. And of course we've got that awesome multicolored glass. So you see in the design, this and this is the same color, but they're actually different textures. So I've got those up right here so that you can kind of see. This is that textured version, and this is the, it is technically also textured, but it's more passive texture. So that's kind of the difference between the two colors with the same formula, but they're different textures, and that's how we're going to use them. Got this pattern all laid out, and now we're pretty much ready to start cutting. So we've got every single piece numbered, and each number goes to a certain glass type. So what we'll do is we'll go through, cut each of these pieces on the light table, and you're going to see that here in just a second. And then once it's all cut, we'll get to assembling the windows. So right now we are here at the glass cutting stage. Right here at the bottom is where we indicate each glass type and what number it goes to. And then every single space has a corresponding number. Fortunately, we had a strong stock of just about everything, except for a few pesky colors, which we actively had on back order. So as long as those crates arrive in one piece, we'll be just fine. Unfortunately, on this project, this was a major issue we faced. So stay tuned for the crate drama. Picking glass is still one of the simpler parts of the fabrication process, so long as the design was crafted while keeping our in-stock palette under consideration. We were able to get the perfect glass for each color. We went ahead and got started with the glass we had in stock, anticipating this back-ordered glass shipment will be in time soon enough and won't slow us down. Now, this cutting portion does have some pretty challenging areas that were not as simple as you may expect. The hardest pieces to cut were, probably not surprisingly, on the dove's body. The beak and leg portions proved to be challenging because they had some acute angled edges. Anytime the lines have acute angles, the glass has a tendency to run off into your workpiece. This particular piece with the tail feathers kept breaking, and it did take a few tries. But here you can see they fit perfectly before moving on. Everything was going nice and smooth until came the day we were expecting the glass shipment, and this is what happened. Yes, every so often our crates of glass do actually come in like this. So that is not good. That is on the wrong side. So this is what it should have looked like, and it essentially came in tipped over on its side like that. We had to cut the top off so that we could take these pieces out. Pretty rough stuff sometimes in the glass world. So believe it or not, this is actually a pretty common occurrence in our world when purchasing a high volume of glass crates. Fortunately for this project, the salvage pieces were big enough to continue on, and it didn't slow us down too bad. Definitely a little bit painful every time we see a pile of crates on their side like that. Now, there is an unknown factor that we haven't talked about yet that is beyond my control that I am a little bit worried about. At this point in the process, we are cutting glass and creating a physical thing that has actual dimensions. This matters because the actual opening that this window is meant to be installed in doesn't currently exist, and we are not preparing the opening, so it's up to others to make sure it's the perfect size. The plan is to essentially take the chapel wall, cut out a hole, frame it with 2x4s, and insert our frame. If the hole is not the right size, we are in a lot of trouble because once the glass is cut and the window is made, we can't change the size without doing a ton of work. So we are approaching a point of no return. So, fingers crossed everything fits perfectly on install day, because who needs a backup plan when you have optimism? Now, the cutting process is a delicate one that requires immense skill, and often a couple tries depending on the shape of the piece. If you're interested in a guide on how to create stained glass windows beyond this vague overview, I'll leave a playlist at the end of the video that you may be interested in. Okay, so now we are here. We just finished up cutting all the glass, and we're gonna have to find a place in this paint room to put all this stuff. We have got a ton of projects going on right now, and maybe I can see if I can show you some of those while we're here. So what he has to do is he puts on the paint for each of these pieces. And right now we're doing a project where it's hands and faces. So that's why you see all these types of pieces out on the table right now. Essentially, he's going to go through with that dove glass. He's going to be applying the paint and removing it. And it's going to get all those fine details. And you're going to see what we're shooting for here is a photorealistic product. We do a value study kind of like this to identify what all of the painted pieces will look like. So see, we've got these drawings here, and then we'll take them over to the paint table, and he's going to transfer all of that fine detail between all of these painted pieces. So that's pretty much what we're going to see here in just a moment with that dub. Once he's got all of that paint on the pieces, it goes into this kiln, and they fire it up pretty dang hot. With everything cut, it's time to begin painting. This is the part of the process where all of the detail is encapsulated in the glass for more realistic effects. It starts with the base layer we call line work. That's what you see going on first. It's like giving the glass its first tattoo, and tattoos are forever, folks. This process takes many firings, and once the base line work layer is done, all the details are put on layer after layer after layer. It's not always smooth sailing. Sometimes the glass can become damaged in the firing process and render all that work a complete waste. Hoping we get through this one without one of those mistakes. The painting, as you can see, is a mountain of labor, but I think that it will truly represent the spirit of Hope Village. But we won't really know until the final installation day comes, and it's starting to feel like it's rapidly approaching. Now, fortunately, we have gotten through the painting without any flaws or errors and have reached the assembly process. Everything was going smoothly here until we got interrupted. Yes, we have finally received the window frame that will be installed into the light box. With the exception of a destroyed glass crate, so far this project is going pretty well. Thankfully, our craftsmen are exceptionally skilled. So long as the glass cutting was done precisely, the assembly is a breeze. One thing that we are sure to do with our windows is that we try to use a 4% antimony alloy variation, and this makes them quite stout. But this still isn't quite enough for our standards. We also will be soldering even more reinforcing bars to make sure this window really stands the test of time. Now, I didn't get any footage of the last few steps, but we do go on to solder those reinforcing bars and apply stained glass putty to fill all the voids between the glass and the lead. This is some footage of another upcoming project that I think y'all are going to like very much, so subscribe for that one. Now it's time to get out to the site and install this window, the day we have all been waiting for. It's about a 4-hour drive from our shop to Hope Village, so let's hope that everything will work out just right. I'm still a bit worried about our frame fitting, but I know that if our frame fits, I know that everything else will fit just right. And 4 hours on a car ride sure gives you a lot of time to stress eat snacks. Now, after the long drive, we showed up on a nippy 37-degree day. It was chilly, but nothing was going to stop us from getting this window in. Upon arrival and inspection of the opening, they did a fantastic job framing out the opening and installing the lights. So far, everything is looking good. The first step is to see, is this frame going to fit? But before we do that, let's check out this fantastic facility. It's equipped with so many useful amenities for the villagers, some of them being sensory rooms, a chicken coop, residential living spaces, classrooms, a ballroom, a recreational room with a movie area, multiple workout areas, games, activities, dining, and even a place for haircuts. Their campus has beautiful green lawns, picnic tables, a gazebo and covered patio, walking trails, playground, and a pool area. Thank you to Hope Village for the amazing work you do for those that really need it. The mission is incredible, and we are happy to have the opportunity to be a part of it. So, now that you've seen the facility, let's cross our fingers that everything is going to fit perfectly. Oh yeah! Everything fit perfectly. Doesn't always happen like that. All right, we're off to a good start today. I think my smile said it all from there. It really felt at the time like everything was going to be smooth sailing. Now the only thing I might have done wrong at this point was make the diffuser screen and stained glass panels the wrong size. And that would be incredibly embarrassing. It is also possible that some glass may have become damaged in transit. Hopefully we're not in for a little surprise with that. But before we check, let's finish installing this frame. I inserted framing shims to keep the screws from warping the frame, removed my glazing beads, and started on the install of the diffuser screen. This is essentially a piece of white acrylic that is intended to diffuse the light to prevent any hot spots. Without it, you would see each little LED poking through the glass. It's not the best looking, so that's why we use this. Now with the diffuser in, it's time to go get the star of the show. It feels great to finally be able to get this into the Hope Village Chapel. And finally, last and for all, the final installation. I just need to clean it up and pick up my mess. Then we are ready to finally see what Hope Village thinks about this stained glass window. Phew, let's bring them in and see.
Is there anything that attracts you like stained glass? No. That is the crowning jewel of this room now.
Yes.
I mean, you know?
It is.
Oh, this looks so doesn't it? Yes.
Just pops at you now, doesn't it?
Oh, it really has the
That looks
chapel sense in it. I love the backlight on it as an interior room. It just feels like a chapel
It
now
does.
with the backlight on
It
a
really
stained glass
does.
window.
Radiate from the dove, too. You know, that's what's so nice. And look at the detail of the dove. That's amazing.
that's what I was
to me.
trying-
But y'all can't imagine how the residents participate in their worship service. They just love it so much. This will be such a nice thing for them. Well, I gotta believe nobody has anything as special as this.
If you would like to help Hope Village on their mission, down into the description, I have a link to their website where you can check them out. They have an Amazon list where you can purchase essential supplies, and as an added thank you to Hope Village, we included a few items from the list too. If you're looking to customize stained glass windows for your church, I'll send you my free stained glass guide. We go over tons of important topics from religious symbolism in stained glass, design principles, techniques, common themes, and much more. Click right here and I'll send you your own free copy. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll like this one too, where we create the Holy Family in stained glass. And as promised earlier in the video, click here for a playlist to stained glass guides I've made. Don't forget to subscribe for more beautiful stained glass window projects. Goodbye.